Hello, everybody. This is Wrestling Discussion, a YouTube channel that discusses professional wrestling. So, Gunther, the World Heavyweight Champion, the WWE World Champion, he came out on Monday Night Raw, and it was very interesting. He cut a heel promo. He cut a very Gunther heelish promo, talking about how his title was the only title worth having, about how he was the best, he was a ring general. Very stuff we've been accustomed to from Gunther for a long time now, and I find that interesting because it seemed like they were slowly but surely turning him babyface. They were slowly but surely switching him over to the babyface column side of things. Especially with his interactions with Finn Balor. It seemed like they were going with him and Logan Paul there for a little while. And who knows, they might still make him babyface. We don't know for sure, but that could still happen. But for now, it seems like he's back on the heel side, thoroughly on the heel side. So then Jey Uso comes out. His music comes out to a huge pop, right? And he gets in there, and he challenges Gunther for the World Heavyweight Championship at Saturday night's main event, January, I believe, 25th, later on this month. And Gunther accepts. And Gunther basically cuts into him, says, I'm going to make you into what you truly are. I'm going to show what you truly are. A talented tag team wrestler. Puts Jey Uso over. Says he's talented, says he's exciting, gets the fans going and whatnot, but he says he's going to put him in his place. And I'm excited for this match because, you look at the roster, you got Cody Rhodes as the top babyface, right? And I think on Raw this year, you're going to have John Cena as sort of the main de facto babyface. Just because it's John Cena. But boy, if you're looking to pull the trigger on a top babyface in wrestling, in WWE, I think you go with Jey Uso. And there's been talk about taking the title off Gunther, that his title reign has sort of flatlined, that he's not exciting. And I think Gunther's a fantastic performer, but his storyline is always second on Raw to whatever else is going on. Like, his storyline, if you think about it, since he won the World Championship at SummerSlam, he's been second to CM Punk and Drew McIntyre for certain. And then he became second to CM Punk and Seth Rollins. And you could argue that he's been second to Judgment Day, with Rhea Ripley, Liv Morgan, Damian Priest, Finn Balor. A strong argument can be made he's been second to that. He's been booked to be the second storyline, sort of the B storyline of the show instead of the A storyline. So it makes him look less than. It makes it look like he's flatlined. I don't think there's any problem with him as world champion. I think he's an old school heel promo. I think he's a throwback to the old days. I think you put Gunther in the territory days, the 60s, 70s, 80s sort of thing. 60s, 70s, early to mid 80s, because I guess the territories were dying out by the late 80s. But you take Gunther and you put him there, and I think he's a dominant world champion, and I think he does a great job, and I think he holds whatever world championship or whatever title in whatever territory he's in. There's nothing wrong with him as a performer. But when he's booked to be the second storyline, seemingly, then it makes it look like a problem. Granted, you could argue that if he had more charisma or more promo ability or whatever it may be, that he would be the A storyline because he would claim that spot. He would force that spot to be on him. That's neither here nor there. That's a discussion for another video. But if you look at a match like this, boy, I've got no problem with Jey Uso winning the World Championship. I think the fans are behind him. They love his entrance. They love him. They think it's time. I think, you got to pull a trigger on a new top babyface at some point, and I think it's got to be Jey Uso. I think, the Intercontinental Championship, it was such a big moment for him to finally win that singles title off of Braun Breaker, and then just to pull it off of him so quickly, the further the bloodline story, I get it. Makes sense, but he's ready for that top spot. And when you think about it, when you really think about it, Jey Uso versus Logan Paul for the World Heavyweight Championship, WWE World Heavyweight Championship. That world title on Jey Uso versus Logan Paul, just Just think about it for a second. Like, it almost feels less than for some odd reason, especially when you're thinking about Roman and Drew McIntyre and Seth and John Cena and Roman Reigns, the Bloodline. You know, when you think about that WWE Championship held by Cody and Kevin over there, I don't know. Maybe it feels less than, but Jey Uso versus Logan Paul for the World Championship. Jey Uso wins, gets a huge pop at WrestleMania, defending the World Championship that he won from Gunther. I don't know, man. I think that's a big spot. I think it's a fair spot to put Jey in at this point. Now, I can understand reservations that you don't want to end Gunther's World Championship reign too early. But World Championship reigns have ended in February and January before, so I don't think that's necessarily the worst thing that could happen. And with Logan Paul seemingly becoming more full-time or more active, that's seemingly what they've been advertising him to be. You know, it seems like they want him in that World Championship picture, especially on Raw. And Logan Paul versus Gunther is just... You know, I thought when they were pulling the trigger and making Gunther a babyface, and maybe they still might, that could be a huge match, and still could be. But I think Jey Uso versus Logan Paul has a lot of potential. I think Jey Uso has a lot of potential. I mean, right now, if you're sitting at the head of creative in WWE, someone's got to be suggesting, hey, Jey Uso's the next top babyface. At least for a little while. That's all for this one, guys. Thanks.